Welcome to episode 34 of Cocktail Hour. Yay! Liz, you out there?
I am there, but usually
Wait, I think you were supposed to yay.
I wasn't expecting to. I thought you were going to say, hi, I'm Andy, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, hello, I'm Liz.
Okay, so I'm Andy, and that's Liz, and we're welcoming Meghan O'Brien today. Yay!
Hello.
Well,
Thank you.
And we're so glad you got brave and came on. Yay!
Thank you very much. The whole cocktail hour theme helps in that regard.
Oh yes, that's our secret to luring authors in and getting them to relax.
Yep.
We're hoping they don't hic or throw up while they're doing it, but just
I'll try to control myself.
It's only an hour. It's only an hour. That can happen in just an hour.
Well, I could have, cracked that bottle a couple hours earlier to, get that liquid courage up. But not Meghan. Not Meghan. No, not Meghan. We won't talk about the authors that, basically passed out on our show. But not Meghan. No. So, I'm all excited. I had the first book that I had ever read was just of Meghan's was just recent. I purchased Wild, and because of Liz and her shameless plugging of BSB authors, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's good, huh? And Liz like, oh yeah, it's great, you gotta read it. I'm like, okay. So I picked it up. I'm a little dubious. So I picked it up and I read it. I'm like, I couldn't put it down.
Hello.
Could not put it down. And then, of course, Liz tantalizes my taste buds and said, well, you like that one, you're going to like the 3. I'm like, really?
But there's some specific reason why I thought you particularly would like 3.
You can tell people.
Andy has a thing for harems or multiples.
Very nice.
So I have never read a sustained 3-way relationship throughout an entire novel. And I'm like, Andy, you are going to die.
Yeah, that's actually what I think is, that dissuades as many people as it attracts. So that's nice.
It was really hard to write. I have to, at least from my perspective, reading it, being able to have honest interactions where there's not one that's loved more than the other, or where they really aren't jealous of each other and they have interdependent relationships as well as independent one-on-one things that make unique between them. So I thought that was impressive, because even though you have a lot of explicit, if not amounts of explicit material and the things that you write, it's not the activity for the sake of the activity. There's emotions involved, and there's also character development and that kind of stuff, which makes it valuable, because I've learned, even though I get upset when there aren't sex scenes in books, I also get upset when people have sex too soon or make it seem like they're madly in love, and I don't buy into it. And so you avoid that. You do very well. Very well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that my books are a bit sex heavy, but I do try to not make it gratuitous. Even if it seems as though there are a lot of sex scenes, they all have a reason in my head, at least, as far as character development and story. So I do try. And I get upset when there aren't sex scenes, too. So I do tend to err on the heavy side.
Yeah, I think I put it in a stream once, because I'm always commenting about this, and I said, you know what? Somebody asked me, do they need to be in all books? And I said no. But if you build up their connection, especially their amazing physical, passionate interaction, their intense love, and the tension between them before they actually become a couple, or even submit to each other's desires, whatever. And then it doesn't happen, or it's fade to black. And I described it as telling a joke without the punchline. Something is missing.
Yeah.
Totally. I completely agree.
Yay.
Obviously.
Yep. So I'm almost, I think I got 100 pages left on that book. So I don't really want to get too heavy in, because I don't want to spoil the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
But let me ask you this. Is there a sequel planned?
We're talking about the 3 right now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I at one point was hoping to do a sequel. Contractually, it's a little difficult because I changed publishers.
Oh, yeah.
So that's holding me back a little bit. It's actually also probably my least popular book.
Really?
So yeah, it is actually by far.
Damn, that sucks. You just because you veered off the formula, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I think that obviously the threesome aspect puts some people off. I think some of the gender stuff has put some people off. Or I know I've talked to some people who think that it's about a threesome between a man and two women, which isn't the case, but seems that way, at least initially. And then I think, post-apocalyptic also can be a hard
When I
sell.
first started reading it, I kind of got upset. I was like, what? I'm like, oh, yeah, you're... Like,
because of the...
It's so good to see two people in this world, finding love, even though it's heterosexual. And it's just like, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. Well, let's not ruin it for folks.
But it made it very thrilling to find that it wasn't what I thought it was.
Yeah. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Good, I'm glad.
One of our listeners, Nancy, she actually has a question about the three. So I'm going to read it, and it's on my iPhone, so it's like itty bitty tiny. So here we go. She says, The Three is an unusual book, both for, is it Kale's?
Yes.
Okay, I said it right. Kale's transmasculinity, and is it Elin?
Yes.
Woo! 2 for 2. Elin, Kale, Anna's mutual relationship. Radcliffe's gotten close in some of her books, but I cannot easily think of another Kale-like character in Lesfic. How have readers reacted to the three? How was the experience for Meghan plotting the dynamics between the three characters?
Well, as far as how readers have reacted, like I said, it's definitely my least popular based on my royalty statements. But as far as talking to people and getting emails from people, I find that people who liked it really seem to like that book. I do get a lot of comments about it, and especially about Kale. And a lot of people really enjoy the genderqueer sort of exploration of Kale's character, and how different it is. And you don't see a lot of Kale type characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been really cool. I really loved writing that character. I loved writing the story. It was very challenging. It was my second novel that I ever tried to write. And I started from the perspective of I wanted to write a story about three characters who were in a relationship. And I thought that would be very challenging to do it in a convincing way and to do it in a way where it didn't seem uneven, or where you could buy that there wouldn't be jealousy, which is part of the reason why it turned into a post-apocalyptic book, because I thought, an extraordinary situation would help a lot of people accept that dynamic, more so than like a really real-world situation. So I don't know. It was a great book to write. I loved writing it. It was actually very easy in a lot of ways. I struggled a lot more with Wild than I did with the three. The three just sort of poured out of me once I figured out what the story was about.
What a great segue. Since we're talking about Wild now.
Yeah.
It comes up. You want to give the listeners a little summary of what Wild is about?
Wild is a paranormal romance. Unlike a lot of paranormal books, there's one paranormal character. She is a shapeshifter who is forced into shifting during the full moons. This is a secret that she's kept. She doesn't remember her activities during the full moon. She's basically a werewolf. And she rescues the other character, who's a forensic pathologist who works with the police. And there's a bit of a serial killer plot line, as well as the romance between those two characters, and Celine, the shapeshifter character, kind of coming to terms with her abilities and falling in love and having to decide whether or not to hide that from the person she loves or share it with her. So, without getting into too much detail, hopefully, it's the main plot.
Awesome. Whoa, whew, got me all worked up. I couldn't even talk. So, Liz, you want to chime in on this one?
Me?
No, Liz. Liz. Is that Liz? Where's Liz?
Yeah, that would be me. I'm
okay.
Still here.
Yay!
Still present and accounted for. One of the things that I thought was incredibly well written and complex was the sexual circuit between Eve and Celine. The empathy that they shared also meant that they felt each other's climaxes and each other's emotions in a really intense way that would not, in normal circumstances, without the paranormal element, would not have affected the trajectory of when they actually fell in love. And I felt with that, it was more believable that they fell in love faster because they didn't have those strong boundaries that they would have had in the absence of the empathy.
Yeah, that was definitely I wanted there to be, because it was a paranormal book, I mean, it's a lot of fun to play with stuff that you can't do in a normal romance. So, I wanted there to be something more than just something a little otherworldly about their relationship, which also did help a lot with, Celine obviously has a lot of issues and secrets, but this was a force that she couldn't really fight against.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a few issues.
Yeah, just a few.
Just a few. Oh, I like the pacing in it a lot. It's one of those books that you want to start early during the day, and if you're faster, you could probably get it done by later in the evening, and you don't really want to put it down because it's a lot of fun. It's a great ride. When you've got, moments where it's, where you're building up to, a climactic scene, and then you lay off a little bit, and you build up some more. It was a great ride.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of the most plot-intensive stories I've tried, so
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
Sweet, sister.
One of the things that I've noticed, Meghan, about your work, because I've read at least what you have on the BSB site, and I find that one of the characters inevitably is more in their headspace, maybe more private, a little shy, maybe socially awkward, or something along those lines. And then the love that they develop with their counterpart helps them come out of that shyness and getting, confidence, not just in the bedroom realm, but just, as a person who, can be out there, and that they're not solely their occupation or, whatever at first makes it difficult for them to interact with other people.
That does seem to be a theme. As I'm thinking back, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a very shy person, so, obviously the stories I write are very personal, and there's usually a character who has a lot of elements of sort of my introversion and shyness, because that's what I understand, and I think that for me, ideally, falling in love and meeting the right person is about becoming a better person, or a healthier person, or a more complete person, and so that's, a journey I like to take my characters on.
So that's a journey that you yourself have been on, I assume.
Yeah. Hopefully.
The other thing, how did you go from writing a book like The 13 to 13 Hours to writing a book like Battle Scars?
I like to try different things. Like, I never want to be a writer who writes the same story with slightly different characters every time. And I think that, sometimes you can fall into patterns. I mean, I obviously have a lot of similarities. All my books are going to have sex scenes. They're all going to be graphic sex scenes. They might be a little kinky.
Woohoo!
Or a lot kinky as far as my next novel is concerned. but 13 Hours is obviously a very, it's a dirty book. It's just
What? I gotta buy that one now, too?
Oh, yeah, it's a one-handed read. That's the whole point of that book.
What?
Yeah, just like have 3 and 13 Hours close to each other.
Wait a minute. Now, Liz, why did you
commingle?
Liz, why didn't you tell me about that one? What's wrong with you?
Well, there's only so much you can do. Well, I shamelessly plug the authors that I love. And 13 Hours is, I would call it an erotic book rather than, a love story book, just because the nature of it, but it's wonderful. And there's actually development. It's not cheesy. Like sometimes, people go on stereotypes or, obviously this character is going to be this way. Like Kale is a good example that, there's not a lot out there of full-fleshed people who are either somewhat stoned or completely stoned for very specific reasons. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's what made Kyle special, because my partner's trans. and is a very interesting blend. It isn't. I don't have to refer to Ilya by male pronouns, but I do have to refer to her in my little love terms. Like I have to call her Papi. Thank God she's Puerto Rican because I could never call her Daddy. That gives me the creeps. I would never be able to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't
it's just not in me. But at the same time, it's being trans is as liquid as I guess any types of sexuality or identity. And there are certain interactions with her body, like she hates her period because it reminds her that she's a girl. She hates certain parts of her body. She's uncomfortable with things that kind of accentuate that. And she also has problems with myself because she needs me to be, she wants to be a straight man with, a feminine woman. And I'm not. I mean, I look feminine, and I don't mind dressing up for her, but I don't femme-identify, and I have a lot of tension with that because I have a very big butch part of who I am. But it makes for, when somebody is trans or feels like differently about their body, like for example, Kyle feels more confident in sex with wearing a strap-on rather than just himself, or, is not comfortable with full nudity. So, that's why I thought it was really important to have a book like The Three, to have that space for that particular type of character, and to have the duality fit in the same way that the interaction between the three characters work, So.
Yeah. That's the type of character I'd like to write again, honestly. My ex was genderqueer, and I didn't refer to her with male pronouns or anything, but she definitely sort of inspired the character of Kale. And reading a lot of lesbian fiction, a lot of queer fiction, and there weren't a lot of characters like that. And my partner was somebody a little bit like that. So that's a big reason I wrote that character. I will always love that character, and I'd love to write more characters who are in different places along the gender spectrum, for sure.
Sweet.
Oh. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. One of the reasons why I think it's Night Call by Radcliffe, and the two characters are different incarnations of Butch, but they're two Butch characters that fall in love with each other. And I had written Radcliffe about that and said how much I appreciated that. And then a little further down the line, I wrote my own little erotic short story that we recorded for the Cocktail Hour Bar Rag, and the characters in the story that I wrote were also two Butch characters. That, you don't get to see that very often. A lot of times in lesbian fiction, there's a very strong butch-femme dynamic, where the butch has to be more blue-collar and the femme has to be white-collar somehow. And, a lot of these gender norming things that, are sometimes hard to swallow.
Yeah. So I hear that you blush a lot during edits. Is that true? Like with the sex scenes? I totally fucked that question up. Let's try that again. I heard that when you edit sex scenes, you blush a lot. Is that true?
Depending on the book, sometimes more than others. The book I'm editing right now, I can't believe I wrote it. I can't believe I'm going to let people read it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's funny because as I was writing it, I didn't necessarily think that it was the dirtiest thing I'd ever written, but then I let my partner and my ex read probably like the first half of it, and they both said independently, "This is the dirtiest thing you've ever written."
Oh, sweet. Make sure you email me when that book comes out because I want to buy it.
Absolutely. It's my second stab at an erotic romance, although unlike 13 Hours, I'm hoping that it's more of a love story, and if it is very dirty as well. More of a story, a little more conflict, and hopefully a deeper romance.
Sweet.
A lot of people don't realize that a person and a writer can write very well orchestrated novels that do have a lot of sex in them without them being those harlequin, tawdry, or cliched storylines and plots and characters. Like one of the things that attracts me to your work in particular is your ability to create an amazing plot and have character arc development and have pacing and things that I can buy into, rather than me kind of ignoring things that just are not possible. All right, I forgive you. There are certain things that I will suspend disbelief just for you. But I don't feel that way about the things that you write, and that's one of the reasons why when Andy asked me, we need an author for this particular month. Are there any authors that you dig? And you were the one that I had recommended with Wild, because not only because you have accolades and whatnot associated with Wild, but that it was very unique and a part of, like you said, you don't write the same thing over and over again. You try different things, and I really appreciate that about you.
Well, thank you. I will probably always try lots of different things, and I'm glad people are cool with that. I think a lot of authors stick with the same stuff, and I understand why, because your readers like what they like, and I know with each book, somebody who really likes Battle Scars may not really like my next book, The Night Off, because they're very different. They're very, very different, and they have a different tone and sort of different sensibilities. But I appreciate that there are people who just want to read what I write, and even if it is a little different than the last thing.
So what got you inspired to write Battle Scars? Like, how did PTSD come on your radar screen, so to speak?
One thing, my current partner was in the Coast Guard in her early 20s, and was actually discharged after being diagnosed with PTSD because of something that happened while she was in the Coast Guard. And that kind of, and she's, at this point, it really doesn't impact her daily life or anything like that. But, I had obviously thought that was interesting, something worth exploring. And then I read a few articles kind of within about a month of each other. One about sexual assaults of female soldiers. And then the other one about service dogs being used for soldiers being diagnosed with PTSD. And I'm a huge dog lover. Have 2 dogs. And so, it just, I don't know, just reading those articles really kind of was what triggered it. And then Angie's experiences and insight really helped with the research part of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, one of the things that touched me about it was how, the one character, was it Ray?
Yes. Yeah.
Even like when she finally she made friends with Carly, the vet for her service dog, and she was doing really well when they had a friendship. But then when they became lovers, she started to kind of, even though there's one healthy part of her life, she stopped going out so often. She stopped pressing her boundaries. She stopped trying to do something different. And rather than Carly decided, rather than letting Ray backslide, that she would rather pull back and be the reason why Ray started to deteriorate again.
Yeah, that's definitely my most I don't know what the right word is, but serious. A lot of psychological issues, and I really want it to be. It was hard because that's one of my most kind of characters who begins the story straight as well. Not only does she have PTSD, but Ray has no idea that she's really attracted to women initially, and so it was. Speaking of kind of realism, I really wanted it to be somewhat realistic. The whole arc of their friendship and the relationship, which is challenging when you're also trying to make the PTSD and all the mental health stuff. And the issues that Carly was going through, and sort of her fears about getting in a relationship, especially with somebody who was so fragile.
Wow. Now I got to go read that book too. Damn it!
Kind of tie that back into the 3. Like, you did create like a unique situation that you might like, that as a reader. Okay, I kind of accept that. Love is so rare, and connection and healthy individuals are so rare that I could see them making that work. But what I also found interesting was that the one character, Elin, she was kind of untouched by, the story, the 3, the post-apocalyptic aspect of it. There was like a huge virus that killed almost everybody. And Eileen is younger than the other two and has also never experienced some of the harsher, more ugly things. And so it was interesting to have, one character who's kind of like sunshine and, even though she's strong and can take care of herself, she has this untouched quality that makes her really special and is special to both Kale and Anna. But what I also thought was really moving was how both Kyle and Anna felt that they weren't as lovable. And then that came up like, oh, well, I understand why you love Kaylin, but I don't understand why you love me.
Yeah.
Or how you love that person more than me because they're more lovable than me because they're less broken than me or for whatever reason.
Right, because those other two were touched by the ugliness and then they started to believe the ugliness in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ellen was able to help them see that there is good and that interacting with somebody on a central level can be pleasant. It doesn't always have to be, something awful, but at the same time, they had the harder time connecting and seeing the depth of their relationship and also being open enough to have a relationship between Kale and Anna because they had experienced the things that they did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say it was interesting because when I like I said, I started out knowing I just want to write a story about three characters in a relationship. And before I really even knew what the story was about, I also knew that they were going to have very different perspectives on life. And, one was going to be kind of this absolute light, and this other was going to be very dark. And the Anna was kind of going to be this, kind of in the middle, understanding and appreciating from both perspectives, not quite as jaded and broken as Kale, but also, not nearly as light as Elin. So. Yeah,
and you handled the uglier parts of their background very well. It wasn't salacious. It didn't creep me out. It was, but you still felt their pain. So you did a really good job with that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Switching gears is my way of being, I guess.
Is your way of what?
My way of being. I always go from left to right to up to down and backwards again.
All right then. Just go with it, sister. It works for you.
But I, for some reason, it just made me think of Jack, the character in Wild, and how Jack is kind of this little hostile, character who knows that, she wronged Eve in the past and can't stand, that Eve's with somebody like, oh, this beautiful person like you. And he's like, thanks. I'm glad that's what you thought. Like, oh, this hot person's into you. Jack, appreciate that. Thank you.
Good. Is there? I got another question here, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's a statement or a question. What the hell? Where is it? Damn it. Honestly, something about a dog. Where is it? Let's see. Jasper. Is there a dog named Jasper?
Jagger.
Is it Jagger?
It's Jagger.
Oh, it's Jagger. It's my bad, my eyes.
No, it's from Battle Scars.
Oh, that's why I didn't recognize. Okay. So the question is, Patsy just wants to know if Jagger the dog is single and into cats.
Jagger the dog loves cats.
Well, there you go.
Sometimes for breakfast.
Oh no, that's not good.
No. He actually he coexists with cat. Well, Jagger the dog is a real dog. He's my dog.
Oh, he's your dog. All right.
The dogs in Battle Scars are based on my real life dogs. Oh. Although the fictional Jagger is a well trained, really wonderfully behaved service dog, and the real Jagger is incredibly mischievous and difficult, but very lovable.
Aww.
And he enjoys cats a great deal. They don't enjoy him as much, though.
Ah, I see. Does Jagger bury things of yours in the backyard?
No, he just eats things in the den.
Oh.
DVDs are his new thing.
Oh, that's not good.
No,
that's not
really.
good. Yeah.
She's like, Blu-rays taste so much better than traditional DVDs.
Totally.
isn't it like, based on the cost of something as to whether or not it survives? Seriously, come on now.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So should we play Who Would You Fuck? I think we should.
Ooh.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Of course, I'm a little, I haven't read everything, so mine's coming from either Wild and or the 3. So yeah, I don't have as much to pull from here. So I'm gonna start it. Who would I fuck?
Okay, go ahead.
I gotta say it would be Celine. Yep.
Me too.
Yeah, she blows my skirt up. There's no doubt.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, I think.
Yeah. So okay, your turn, Megan.
Oh well, God. I mean, it'd have to be Celine. She's all otherworldly and has special abilities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you feel like you'd have an orgasm in Echo. I mean, how could you?
Yeah, exactly.
How could you not?
If
Right?
there's any possibility of that, how could you not choose Celine?
Ain't that the truth? Oh, yeah, that's good. So, anything? What you got on the horizon? I mean, like not like the next book we're working on. Any ideas, like in the background, like maybe a Western? We get this whole Western thing going on with Cocktail Hour. We're waiting for an author to do another big Western, like Centennial or something.
Man, well, no, actually, Western hasn't crossed my mind. I am kind of sort of thinking about a sequel to Wild. Which I, intentionally kind of tried to suggest or set up at the end. I mean, that was...
Yeah, that's actually, of your books, that's the only one that I got the really firm, this could be a series thing.
Yeah, I've never really considered it very much with books in the past. The 3 a little bit, but not so much. But Wild, it seems pretty natural. I mean, the characters and... I think there's a lot of possibilities, so I am thinking about that right now. Mm-hmm. But, never know. I could go with a Western. I am kind of working my way through different genres, so...
Nice.
Eventually I'll hit that.
Well, I just might as well just mail you a check.
I was rethinking the who I would fuck, and I think I'd say out of all of your characters, I'd like to be with Kale. Just for the intensity.
Yeah.
Just for that alone, I'm like, that's really hot.
Yeah, I might agree with you, actually, on that one.
Oh, look at you two doing the turnabout. This ain't right.
No, I mean, like, if I had to choose from Wild, obviously Celine, and I have to say, even though I've had girlfriends that are femme, I find the masculine energy really sexy. So I tend to have a thing for the characters who are, more masculine. Not because it's like the butch femme thing, but because I find that kind of edgy, somewhat dark, tightly bound. It's if somebody's so restrained, it's very hot when they kind of let themselves loose.
I think you might enjoy my next book.
Uh-oh.
One of the characters is probably the most butch character that I've written besides Kale.
Damn.
Yeah.
I still keep hoping somebody will write, period novel-wise, like something around like Dangerous Liaisons. Like, you see people do pirate, you see people do Western, and, that kind of stuff. But I'd love to see that, very, not just intellectual, but that very stringent society, not Victorian stringent, but, the roles for men and women and also costumes and whatnot.
Well, hold on to your knickers, sister, because that's coming.
All right, my knickers are ready.
your knickers are ready. A little switch up here. I heard, Megan, that you are a gamer.
I am.
So tell us your favorite games.
Well, at the risk of being predictable, since this has been my answer for years and years, the Halo games for Xbox will probably always be my favorites.
Lots of replay value there, I take it.
Yeah. Well, I play multiplayer. I have pink armor.
Get the hell out. Wait, hold on. You got pink armor?
Pink armor. My gamer tag is Gertrude Stein, so that people know.
I'm horrified by your costume.
It's It's a lot of fun. There's nothing better than going out there with pink armor, Gertrude Stein,
That's awesome.
trash talking on my mic. Like, the guys get a little upset sometimes, but it's funny.
That's awesome. Oh, have you? Are there any other games that you have that you replay besides Halo?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I play a lot of games. It's hard to even. I like a lot of shooters. I like driving games. I'm addicted to iPhone games. I game everywhere all the time. I'm a huge nerd.
Damn, girl, I guess so.
Yeah, admit to it, you like the scantily clad babes in all the video games.
Well, naturally.
Don't lie.
I'm never going to not like a scantily clad babe.
I mean, really. Have you seen the chicks that give you a lap dance in Saboteur?
Oh,
Like,
no.
how could you... What? You haven't played Saboteur?
I haven't.
Girl, you go down to GameStop tomorrow and get yourself a used copy.
Alrighty.
That's awesome. I actually stopped playing the game probably about 3/4 of the way through because I didn't want it to end. I figured I'll go back at some point and finish it because it was just so damn good. I didn't want it to end.
I get it.
But I really like the Mass Effect, and I'm really sad that Mass Effect 3 is going to be the end of the franchise. You know.
I actually hadn't read that. That is too bad. I played. Haven't finished one. I played a good way through one, and then I played some of two. But
are you romancing any of the characters in one?
Well, I always try to angle the lesbian romances,
Well, the Mass Effect, one of the only reasons I purchased the game to begin with was because I heard you can have a lesbian sex scene if you play your cards right. So I said, really? So I went and bought the game, and I actually found that...
Wait,
you hold on, Liz.
Lesbian sex scene?
Yeah. So I actually bought the game and found that it was a lot of fun, besides the scenes.
Lesbian sex?
Yeah. But it was actually a very good game.
Shocker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise anybody, I'm sure. And the Fable game, Fable 2, I think 2 and 3, maybe just 3, I can't remember. You could actually, playing as a female character, you could play and marry another female character.
I have Fable 3 as well.
Yeah.
I did that as well.
So, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Although, Fable 3 played really, really fast. I got hooked into the main story arc too early, and then, of course, by the time I got out of the main story arc, I think, 3/4 of the world's population was dead, so I couldn't finish the little quest. So I'm like, God damn it, I finished that game in 2 days if that tells you anything. So I was like, yeah, no, I gotta go back and replay this game. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Have you gotten into the new, was it Skyrim?
I haven't. I've seen the commercials. I think it looks awesome. I got some, I got a few games for Christmas. I'm still working my way through, got Halo, the Anniversary Edition, which is like the original game remastered, which is awesome. And the Batman Arkham City, which is a lot of fun. So I'm kind of working my way through those, and then I'll hopefully get to Skyrim. It looks very cool.
Did you play Oblivion?
I did. I didn't finish it, but my partner and I played it traded back and forth and played it for a few weeks, like obsessively. So
wow,
looking forward to the other one.
Nice. I couldn't get into Oblivion.
Oh, it was. I really enjoyed that one.
Well, I'm going to wait until 5 or 6 years from now and get Skyrim on the $4.99 rack.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. Then if I don't play it but 5 minutes, I won't feel like I lost a lot of money on it. So yeah, it's nice to hear you're a fellow gamer. Very exciting. Yeah.
Big geek.
Awesome. Well, I'm kind of exhausted over here. I'm exhausted the topics. But I figure Liz is going to pipe up right now. Bring it on, Liz. Bring it on. Ba-ba! Bring it on, girl.
What was I going to say? Infinite Loop.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because there is, a really cute. She's a gamer, but she's also a programmer.
Yeah, as I am.
I don't remember the characters' names right off the top of my head, but I love the room stopped, and there was across the room, and even in a straight bar, this hot chick, comes into view. I thought that was cute.
Thank you. That was definitely the shy gamer character in that book is my most autobiographical character. And that was my first novel, and I wanted to write a story about a geeky gamer girl who had this romantic story and ended up with the hot chick at the end.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that still autobiographical at the end?
Yeah, I mean, slightly.
No, I love it. That's awesome. So are you and your hot chick girlfriend going to be at the GCLS this year?
I'm not sure. We have a lot of traveling, a lot of pressure from family to travel this year, so we're still looking at what we're going to be able to do.
Oh, dang. No family in Minneapolis, St. Paul, I take it.
I do have a cousin in Duluth, so it's kind of close, so I could try to wrap those things into each other.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Oh.
We get to have some sex with Jennifer. Have you heard about Sex with Jennifer?
No.
Oh, it's one of the most fabulous drinks ever. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I introduced the gals to them last year, and some of the gals in P-Town I introduced to them. She's fabulous. She's a slutty, fabulous hoe, and she's delicious.
Why don't you describe the ingredients?
Because I don't have them at my disposal.
Oh, my.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I remember there's vodka, and there's triple sec, and there's coconut rum, and there's pineapple juice, and I think a little grenadine. I think that's it. Damn it. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, one of the things they tease my Ilias, my partner, about is that she loathes beer and has a thing for rum drinks. Well, she's Puerto Rican, so the rum thing kind of fits in. But a lot of other butchers like, what? You don't like to drink beer?
Yeah.
She won't even kiss me if I'm drinking beer. I'm like, screw you. I want my Stella. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I don't drink beer.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker either.
No. And once I can drink again, hello. And speaking of drinking, we never discussed what everybody's drinking. Well, Megan and Liz are having a Pinot Noir.
Sorry, I had one.
You had a Pinot Noir.
It's a little past tense at the moment.
Sounds like you need a refill.
So I went to the wine store last night, and I was like, what am I going to get? Obviously, budget is concerned, but I'm flitting around, and they have a lot of different things. I'm like, oh, these are like in Sonoma County. That's awesome. The story is in San Francisco. Maybe I'll choose that. But a lot of them were kind of generic, and then I found this one it's called Montanore Estate, and it's from Willamette Valley in Oregon, and it's organic. But the reason why I chose it is the graphic design is an M, and the bottom of the M turns into a root system. And I was like, that's perfect for like the first main scene where Eve gets saved by Celine in the forest.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, that's earthy, because the shapeshifter, she really loves being in nature. So I decided to get one.
You are thinking.
It's cheesy like that, and so I'm like halfway through, and I'm like, "This is really good." Yeah.
Well, you took a picture of it, thankfully, so we'll post that. We'll post that on the show so people can see it.
Because it was so kitschy, and I'm like a Philistine. I don't know shit about wine, but I looked at the pretty pictures, and that's how I chose.
That's pretty much how I choose too. So.
Well, once I'm over this hump of not drinking, I'm going to try some chocolate wine. I know, chocolate and wine. I mean, how can you go wrong? It's kind of like a chocolate martini. How could you go wrong with that?
Yeah, but wine and chocolate. Who's that? Did you ever read Petra's Canvas?
No.
Okay, Petra's Canvas, there's like this one, the main character, the reason why it's called Petra's Canvas is like when her ex was an artist and a tattoo artist as well, and tattooed all over her body different things like canvases, like sometimes in a loving way, sometimes in a spiteful, evil way. But the character who's being tattooed is a chocolate heiress. She's like the CEO of a chocolatier. And so all throughout the book, there are different things that she associates with a particular candy that they put out. And then she falls in love with this other character who's a chocolatier as well. And they were combining wine and tasting a particular type of chocolate and stuff like that. And, there was a lot of enmeshed eroticism in it. I was like, wow. So whenever I recommend the book, I'm like, whatever sweet works for you, whatever chocolate works for you, whatever it is, have it next to you while you're reading so you don't like go jonesing and start twitching like halfway through the book.
Dang.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. And you would never think, to have all the juxtapositions that are in there and the interesting, way that this one character, she's really a hoe because she like sleeps with just about everybody, but she's kind of disconnected in the same time. But the whole chocolate thing and its different types of like sweets that she would chew on that would make her think of a particular thing or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's unique.
Yeah, it does sound it.
So if you have a sweet tooth, definitely pick it up.
And you want to read about a hoe.
If you want about a hoe. I love all the hoes I know.
That's awesome. So is there anything else you'd like to give us the insider track on, Meghan?
Yeah, I'll mention that Women of the Dark Streets, a BSB paranormal anthology, is coming out in March, and that has a story that I wrote that has Celine and Eve, and is a kind of a short story, little follow-up to Wild.
Nice.
So I'll mention that.
So listeners can buy all of your books on BSB website, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so that's boldstrokesbooks.com. Holy shit, that's hard to say.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, no. That's where I purchased the 2 that I read, or at least the one I'm still reading, and the one I finished. And you have a website, yes?
I do, and it has been taken down by a virus.
What?
And, I know, and I'm a geek, and I'm a web developer, and yet I have a webmaster for my website who is working on getting it back online. Hopefully that will happen soon. It is MeghanO'Brien.com, normally. Don't try to go there at the moment, but hopefully back up, and hopefully redesigned as well soon.
Wow.
That's deliciously ironic, Meghan.
Isn't
Yeah,
it?
no
I know,
kidding.
it's terrible. It's pretty bad.
Dang. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, wait a minute. Patsy the cat, our new unofficial mascot, apparently goes crazy like listening to our show with her master or her human, and
Cats don't have masters.
Yes, right. Her human, yeah.
Familiar.
Patsy goes crazy with her human when she hears the cocktail hour theme and then us talking. So this goes out to you, Patsy.
She does have a good purr. I could never pull one of those off.
I can't do that. That was very nice.
Like, good girl.
Yeah. There's different sounds too that I can make with that purr.
Make it happen, Andy.
Yeah, no. I saved that for special occasions. That was the public purr. Yeah. Oh, Lordy. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you for inviting me. Enjoyed it.
Yay.
It was nice to meet you, Meghan.
It's meeting you guys.
And who knows, we may see you someday at one of these GCLS cons.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd definitely like to make it at some point.
That'd be cool. Well, year after next is going to be in Portland, Oregon. I think, isn't that closer to where you're at?
Yeah, it is. And actually, I'm going to be in Palm Springs the first weekend of March for the BSB event.
Oh.
That's
nice.
I know. I when I read about it, I was like, oh, nuts. Because my partner and I already planned a trip in November. We're going to New Orleans because her birthday is the 12th of February, and then there's Valentine's, so we usually try and do something at that point. And then I was like, oh, man, I would have totally gone to Palm Springs.
Yeah, that one's like the easy one for us to go to because we can actually drive. So
nice.
It's a long drive, but...
Do you do it every year?
I did it last year. It was my first time. I've actually been, honestly, way too completely freaked out to do it in the past.
Why?
I'm terribly shy. I really am.
Come on. You were showing your boobs earlier. What the hell? I'm just kidding, listeners. No, I'm just kidding, listeners. She wasn't. She was being selfish and wasn't sharing.
So what are you doing with all those beads around your neck, Meghan? You're lying to us. You're lying to us.
She's like, I'm never coming on this show again.
Well, no, I'm trying to be brave. I'm trying to get out there and be more social. So.
Wow. Well, good for you. That can't be easy.
Yeah.
Well, I learned something new. I really like Pinot Noir.
Nice. See, there's always something to learn from the shows.
I know. I'm like, I'm working to the bottom. I'm like, oh, shit.
Next time, get 2.
No. I know, like, there's nothing sexier than having your partner hold your hair back, so model is fine.
Yeah, but see, I always go with those damn bitches that just look at you, go like, fend for yourself, and then walk off. I just,
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't pick the right ones. What can I tell you? Oh, my hell. Okay, so, thank you both. Thank you both for being on the show.
The right ones who want to hold my hair. Your hair is short. Nobody needs to hold your hair.
Well, when my hair was longer, goddammit.
Are we having, like, flashbacks?
Yeah, I started to have flashbacks. Time to move on.
Okay, sorry.
Yuck. So anyway, thank you both for being on. It was a lot of fun.
Loads of fun.
Yep. And Megan, if a listener would like to contact you because your website's down, if they have a question or anything, what's the best way to reach you?
The best way is probably Meghan, MEGHANBE, at yahoo.com.
Nice.
Yahoo.
And you're on Facebook, so yay.
And I'm on Facebook, so yeah, friend me.
Cool, excellent.
Yep.
Okay, next, 2 weeks, our next show, we're going to have Rev back on as a guest co-host. I know, she's fickle.
A little pickle.
She's fickle, little pickle. And author Melissa Good. Yay. I guess I'm probably going to have to read the series that made, that really put her on the map. So yeah, I'll be doing lots of reading for that show. Although my favorite so far that I've read that she's done is her Conqueror series, which is really
For
good.
those out there who are not as familiar with the Conqueror series or with fanfic, can you say a little bit about why she has a name for herself?
She is one of the only writers, I believe, that started in the fanfic world and was noticed by Rob Tappert and company and wound up writing 2 episodes of Xena Warrior Princess.
Sweet.
Yeah, so she's got a little pedigree going on. As a matter of fact, she's going to be at the last XenaCon that Creation's doing. Is it this weekend? Next weekend? Next weekend. I think it's next weekend. And which is kind of sad. I guess this is their 10th year reunion, maybe? I don't know. But this is the last one, according to Creation. And I wanted to get my ass out there, but it just didn't work out right. So those folks that do go and that listen to the show, get us some 411, man. Get us some pictures, some insider track,
Questions.
Yeah, something. Although, hey, Megan, are you going to the convention?
Not, unfortunately.
Aren't you right in the vicinity?
I'm embarrassed to admit, where is it?
Where?
Burbank.
Well, kind of, sort of. That would be a bit of a drive.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're going to be doing in 2 weeks. We're really excited about it. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you all for listening, and go buy Megan's books because they're good. And I don't want to hear no shit about. They don't want to hear about the 3. Go buy the damn book and read it for yourself.
It's like break on through. Like make it to at least page 80 before you make any rash decisions. Trust me.
That's right. That's right. And if you have a hard time with it, or you want to, sound off, then send me an email or go on Facebook and let me know what you thought. Hell, let Megan know what you thought.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
All right. Well, ciao for now, gang.
Bye-bye.
Bye.